Alright, so we're gonna watch this video that I just produced because the audio is super scuffed. It's probably gonna be in the worst quality ever because I'm dubbing over a video that we just made. Or I guess we're watching something in low quality and it's gonna be in lower quality because of the source. But yeah, this is the TTS Season 8 game that I just played. For whatever reason, it's set to my computer's audio, not my headphones, so everything sounded terrible, like before I had a headset. But this was a really good game. I'm going to do my best to represent Nick well. It's Necromancer. He's running Cabal and the Shadowlands Daredevil this season. He said he was going to drop Shadowlands for Malekith because he's a cool guy. But this game he was running Cassandra Nova, Red Skull, Mr. Sinister, Mystique, and Baron Zemo with Mental Domination, Dark Reign, Patch Up, Brace for Impact, and Deception. I was running something pretty gross. My current list is Versatile Strategy, Criminal Syndicate, so I run both the leaders pretty often. So it's Kingpin, Shadowlands, Juggernaut, Hood, and X-23. I don't have like the generic Lizard or whatever who's just a point sitter, but X-23 with exceptional healing is still pretty hard to put down, so I figure she's basically fine. She's also not a character you typically want to 1v1. Crisis-wise, he run Priority. He chose his Secures because he didn't want to play on Sinister Scoundrels, which is probably a good call. Even though my CS list is not optimized to play Scoundrels, it's still really good against most teams because you just run around on points and win by like the end of the game. Because where you see the Spider infected, there are just capture points there. So I just have a million people and they run all over the place. They count as two. It's really good. He doesn't know this yet, but I am starting out with the Kingpin leadership. I most often start out with the Kingpin leadership, but I'm also pretty new to playing CS in general. And I'm definitely not going to be talking this rapidly the entire time because it's an hour long. We might even skip through a little bit. Yeah. He drops Mystique. Once he's dropped Mystique, the only way he has to reposition Juggernaut are his two cards, Mental Domination and Deception. So once he had placed Mystique, I felt pretty comfortable in placing my Grunts, which counter Deception really hard, and Daredevil across from Mystique. And then I moved them down a little bit because I was like, I might want someone else in that building, and I know where they're going to go. I wanted to make sure they could get where they want to go. Oh, I also wanted to, because medium-based medium movers can get to a back spider, so I thought there would have been an opportunity for me to double move, go grab that spider, and Mystique would have to move up and shoot me. So then, in that case, that's all she'd be doing is moving up, shooting the grunts, which is fine, and then deceptioning someone, which honestly might have been a bad play because then she could have deception Daredevil. So I'm glad it didn't work out because you'll see in a little bit that terrain, that little bodega, that hexagonal shape. Is super broken collision-wise. You can't get anywhere near it without your character clipping. So, actually, in hindsight, bless up, weird hexagonal thingy. I didn't know what Cassandra Nova did because it's been a while since I played against her. I do have a lot of respect for the character, but yeah, she's not very often played, but she is insanely good. Her toolkit, she's just like super Mysterio. She needs a little bit of love. I think some extra power gem go a long way on her, but she is a very strong character, and she was one of the biggest threats on the table. Which she should be at 5 threat. She and Juggernaut are the two high threat characters on this table. But yeah, we got all set up. We're ready to go. Oh, I forgot to drop someone. I forgot to do my last move a couple of times this game. As in like my final move of the round. So he started off, I believe, with Red Skull. No. Who was it? Might have been Zemo. I think it was Zemo. I think Zemo grabbed a spider and then moved into a good position to give lots of rerolls out. Yeah. So Zemo moved up, moved back, get into a good position for rerolls. I thought this was interesting because he's not moving directly to the middle where you're a huge target, but he's still a target because he has an objective, but he's in a relatively safe spot. He's got cover, he's Zemo, he's giving everyone rerolls. Yeah, it was good. So what I did with that was I activated Juggernaut, and I moved to the middle to grab the spider infected. Or no, then I decided not to because that'd be dumb. What I actually did was go with Shadowlands first, I believe. Yeah, I tried to do this cool thing. But as you'll see, this map, because of this one piece of terrain, is really hard to play on. There's like an inch or so bubble around it that makes it impossible to stand on. I actually messed up really messing up this token, which isn't going to matter because I'm going to grab it right now anyway. But yeah, so the ninjas end up just moving over here because they couldn't do what they were supposed to be able to do and get all the way across. Like, if it were just that there were terrain in the way, that's fine. That wasn't the case. This terrain was broken. So I'm going to try and talk to somebody about this map and hopefully get it removed. So we went over there. And then Shadowlands moved up and grabbed a single token, which could have been two, but again, I'm kind of glad it happened this way so I couldn't get deceptioned. And they hung out back there. So Shadowlands is now immune to deception because he's within two of an ally. Red Skull got a freebie 3 power. I don't think he hurt himself at all this game, maybe like once or twice. Found out that he couldn't quite reach that thingy, so he just moved up. Didn't teleport anyone. I was thinking he could have potentially teleported up Sinister, but then I remembered, oh no, this is a central C, so you need to be in the middle anyway. You can move up and attack, but that's not the biggest deal in the world. So then Juggernaut, now that most of their firepower has gone, he moved up to the middle and grabbed the Spider. I could have waited until Mystique had gone, but I really wanted to stay at advantage on points this game. Yeah, there's another little fun terrain clipping. As I'm playing Criminal Syndicate and they just want to win quickly. So I moved into the middle and grabbed the Spider, and I figured if anyone can deal with that, it's Juggernaut, because he's going to have 2 power, he reduces by 1, he's unbowable, and my opponent has lots of bows. So my opponent does something very smart, he goes with Mystique, he measures out a bunch of angles to try and get into a position where we would have rerolls, have deception range, and be able to get the Spider. Didn't quite work out. He does still get the Spider and get deception off. Let's go. So yeah, he deceptions me in, and then bam, I'm sitting right there, no fun. And then he does something that I really did not expect next turn. So first of all, I believe he just shoots me, and if he was going to Dark Rain, which he does do next move, he should have just Dark Rained now, because Mystique's going to have another source of rerolls, and he doesn't even get the Rapid Fire here, so Juggernaut just takes nothing, doesn't have to spend power. Juggernaut was obscenely tanky this game. Juggernaut's already a very tanky character, but this game was another level, like more than he should have been for sure. So that's Mystique done. All of my opponent's characters are in the middle of the table. So I take advantage of that. I say, okay, he's going to go into Juggernaut now. I can safely have X23 go grab this Spider and go sit on the aside point, which is where she spends the rest of the game. I had a very boring X23 game. She does literally nothing besides get me points. But sometimes that's what you need. So then he goes with Sinister. He dumps some attacks into Juggernaut. He hits me with a Dark Rain off of, off Red Skull. Red Skull pays for Dark Rain because any Cabal member can do it. And then I rolled obscenely well on Juggernaut a couple of times. Yeah, like I'm blocking 3 on 3 dice. He can't get through that even with my damage mitigation. I think I do end up having to spend a power, but yeah. He like doesn't hurt me at all, I think, which is rough. No, he does 2 with the second attack. And then Cassandra Nova, unfortunately, has to attack him on Mystic, which is his best defense. So I was trying to find an area where I could shoot with Hood to maybe heal Juggernaut up, but it doesn't exist, so I just move him to the back of the point. Make sure I have someone securing that with my double counting CS characters, which are oh so fun. And then Cassandra Nova goes into me. I think she does like 2 damage total. Yeah, she does some stuff. But Juggernaut has 5 Mystic defense, so he's pretty tanky. Of course, this is when I roll poorly, but that's fine. I take 2, and then her second attack, I believe, just does nothing. Yeah. So this is what I was talking about. I completely forgot to go with Kingpin. I had said my opponent would get priority, but I forgot to go with Kingpin. So then Kingpin just double moves to the middle. Yeah, like right halfway through us doing spiders, because I just forgot to do it. And just hangs out. So I scored 6 the first round because I have all 3 of the points and 3 spiders. I get a trigger on Zemo through the Spider Infected to move him. So I think Juggernaut moves. Yeah, and he wasn't really sure what to do with Juggernaut because Juggernaut's already in the middle of everybody. And he couldn't kill him with Dark Rain, which is just rough. So, yeah, he tried to fit him over here. He wouldn't fit. Tried to move him over here, and it would fit. Kept him within 4 of Red Skull, I believe, so Red Skull could spender him. And then I believe X23 just sat still. Red Skull powered up, did the spender into Juggernaut. I did not take Brace this game because the only throw in his list really was Red Skull. I kind of regretted it when Hood got thrown in. Juggernaut got thrown into Hood, but not so much. Hood ended up taking like 3 damage, I think. Because a throw from a size 4 is an auto 4 damage. Oh, I actually can't count. I would have blocked 4 there. Or did he attack me as well? What is this? I don't know. Something happened. Oh, no, that was the attack into Juggernaut. Right. So Juggernaut took some damage. Hood had to block a massive Juggernaut being thrown at him with his magical cloaky thing. Blocked 2, took 3. But since Red Skull had to power up to do that attack, his turn was over. So I immediately went with Hood and healed Juggernaut, which is actually the first time I've used that ability. And the reason I did this before attacking and potentially patching up Juggernaut to full and not bleeding him is because there was a chance that Zemo could counter-strike me and kill me. So Luckily, that didn't happen. I don't think I rolled like a single offense. I don't think I hurt Zemo at all with these attacks. I just got 2 power, didn't get my rapid fire, and it was over. Yeah, it didn't hurt Zemo at all, which is fine. And Hood's just kind of like, all right, cool. I'm healing up my fat friend. We're done now. Then what happened? He went with Cassandra. Cassandra moved up. So yeah, unfortunately, my opponent had to do a lot of like what CS wants you to do, which is forcing you to waste time like moving around and attacking instead of double attacking. I had a bunch of tanky characters that were very often only getting like a single tap on them, and that's just crazy. So here he uses mental domination to kill Hood, which is a super smart move. He forces Juggernaut to move, so Juggernaut had both deception and mental domination played on in this game. And so Juggernaut, accidentally kills Hood, which is fine. I had a feeling it was going to happen. He turns into his demon form, and he's going to stay that way for the rest of the game. And that was only her first action. So for her second action, I believe she just attacks Kingpin and like does a good bit of damage to him. Yeah, does 1, which is a good bit on Kingpin. That's pretty much all you can really hope to do on Kingpin most of the time with unmodified attacks. So she's done, right? Yeah, Cassie's done. I believe I go with the ninjas here, just because the rest of the board is in a pretty safe state, so I thought I might as well just go with the ninjas and Daredevil and try and mess up Mystique. So that's what we do. Oh no, I let him roll an extra die for a Zemo reroll, and he got an extra power off that. So, because he was in range for Zemo rerolls off Cassandra, and then he did extra damage to Kingpin, and he was able to root Kingpin as well because of that. But yeah, he had it. I'm not gonna say you can't go back. I think he actually insisted on, no, I forgot it. I'm like, nah, dude, like nothing's happened yet. It's fine. So I got rooted on Kingpin, rooted and tooted, which is no fun. I thought about going with Kingpin and trying to daze Zemo, but since he has brace, I didn't think it was that safe, so I did not do that. And so my safest option here, since I was in a pretty dominant position on the board, was just to go with the ninjas. So I had the ninjas move outside of 1 of the radius of that terrain, so Mystique can't just auto-kill them with her explosion. And they threw some dice at her, and I got super lucky both times. So they threw some dice, they did like 2 damage, and then Shadowlands moved into stealth range and threw a baton at her and also did some damage. So Mystique went from full health to being on 1 in the span of 8 turns because grunts are OP. So he's done, and I basically lost nothing there. I lost an activation, but from a character who's just going to sit on a point anyway, and Mystique went from full health to 1 health. So then she had to go. I super hard forced that. She doesn't have deception anymore, so she has to do something. So I believe she moves into the center of the table and Spender's Kingpin to put root and stun on him, which is really obnoxious. Kingpin doesn't get a whole lot done this game, personally. His leadership, of course, does a lot, but himself, no. And I forgot to use his, I don't think I ever would have used it, but his thing where you can just give someone a token. Right, like where you can trade around your objective tokens. I'm just thinking about that now. I probably could have done that. So I block very little. He hits me hard. I take some damage. I'm stunned and rooted. Ouch. And then she's done. So now Juggernaut's looking pretty juicy because he can auto-kill Mystique right here. I think he goes with Sinister next. Or no, it's my turn. So yeah, I go with Juggernaut, or not Juggernaut. I go with Kingpin and double tap into Zemo and get a total of 1 success. So Kingpin does literally nothing this turn. We'll just skip through all of that. So Kingpin does nothing besides just stand there, which is fine. That's what he's supposed to do. He's a thick man. Thick, sexy daddy. So then he goes he's checking the range on the Spender for Zemo. Juggernaut isn't in range, he doesn't have the power for it right now. So yes, Kingpin whiffing there sucks, because I didn't get to kill anyone. But also, Kingpin whiffing there is fine, because it means that Zemo has no power. Zemo, when he has power, can actually just rip through just about anything in this game with his Master Swordsman and just like plentiful rerolls. So it's good to not hit him unless you can kill him. So Sinister moves up. I believe he bows Kingpin and then moves on to the point. Yeah, or vice versa. Bows Kingpin forward, moves on to the point, and he's done. I go with Juggernaut here. Yeah, this was the big Juggernaut turn. So Juggernaut moved up, got some extra power, and then I used his card. Or first I struck Zemo. And I got a great strike. Yeah, so already 6. Oh, this is also where I played Versatile Strategy. Let's go back a little bit. So right here, this is an interesting point in the game, because we found out the other day, me and my buddies, that Versatile Strategy can be played at basically any point when it's your turn. Whenever you could play tactics cards, you can play versatile. So I saw that X23 and Shadowlands were both on points that were completely uncontested. They don't need the leadership. Kingpin, or the middle point, has 3 people there, so it's not going to matter if I have 1 person on it. So I might as well versatile it up and get an extra reroll. So that's what I did. I played versatile strategy to give Juggernaut a reroll. So when he came in and threw his massive 8-die strike at Zemo, even though I rolled really well, I got an extra reroll just to try and push a full swath of damage through. So right now I'm at 6. I don't think the reroll gets me anything, but he's only blocking 1. So he has a reroll to try and survive this. If he did not get this reroll, Zemo would have just died. But he did get the reroll, so Zemo did not just die. So Zemo takes a whopping 4 damage, and now Juggernaut with 9 power gets to use his card, Do You Know Who I Am, to throw Mystique. And the safest option for me, because I wasn't sure she could clear that gap, was to throw Mystique backwards, and then of course we run into that fucking bodega again. So the collision here is actually so broken, I had to put her over a pretty fair distance just to make sure she could stand up. So we just agreed, like, that's where she is. She collided with the thing and it's ridiculously long arms, because anywhere closer she would have flipped over. So I threw Mystique backwards. He braces for impact to not die. There we go. And then I used the Juggernaut Cha-Cha slide to smash into Baron Zemo and put the Spider Infected, which does not have to obey the laws of gravity, in between Hood and Kingpin. Okay, cool. No one's in range of X23 that I really wanted to come attack, so she just got some cover for the round, and she was done. And that was the round. So I scored another 6, I believe, this round, putting me on 12-2. And then we cleaned up, and I decided here to all according to plan just to try and get something out of Hood. So I spent literally all of my power off of my CS characters after we do the Spider Infected, blah blah, no one cares. Yeah, at least we did it. I forget about that shit all the time. So 3 off of Kingpin, 2 off of Daredevil, and 5 off of Hood. I figured 6 attack strike should get 1 damage through on Sinister, or whoever I choose to go on. So I just needed 1 power after I used all my power to, all according to plan, to be able to grab that Spider Infected and run, because at this point in the game I can basically run away on points. I'm so far ahead. So, yeah, we all according to plan. Yeah. And then we go with Hood. Hood stabs a man, and he rolls literally nothing but hot fire here. I think I'm striking into Zemo, and I literally just rolled a perfect roll. He rolled very well defensively, so I didn't just blow him off the table, which I'm actually grateful for, because I hate when that happens. But yeah, total of 7 into his 3, so he takes 4 and a bleed. Almost just dies right there. And then Hood grabs the doohickey, and I thought I could get lucky and get a cheeky damage through on Mystique, so I go ahead and charge into her. It does not do any damage, because she's a martial artist. I did bleed her, I believe. Or no, I didn't even bleed her, which is fine. So just Hood's semi out of danger, has an objective, and now is a target, because if they don't kill Hood, I'm currently holding 4 Spider Infected, so they need to deal with Hood. Even though he's a dazed character, and he doesn't, like, contest very well. So my opponent goes with Zemo. He charges, messes up Hood. I think he just kills Hood here. Yeah, he charges in, attacks twice, kills Hood, drops the Spider back on the point, uses Master Sword, not Master Swords, and Steel Rush to get back on the point, then patches up Zemo, and then he takes 1 from bleed. So that was great. Juggernaut then walks up, punches Zemo so hard he dies, I think. No, does not. Yeah, okay, no. I couldn't kill him, but I do push him. So he takes some damage, and he gets pushed towards my ninjas and Shadowlands, right along the side of that car. And then I cha-cha slide into Mystique to kill her. She drops her spider in stupid bodega in an area that neither of us can really get to easily, although I then did realize that Sinister is right there and can do it. But yeah, I'm pinging the thing because it was really annoying. So like in the perfect world, I would have put that Spider Infected just way towards the ninjas and had them walk over, grab it, and then run away. But there are a couple of reasons why I couldn't do that, namely Sinister and that bodega. So then I made sure that Juggernaut could slide outside of range of Sinister's beam, and I slid to safety. And then he spent 1 to not take damage from the bleed. So even though he can't reduce damage right now, he does have 6 health and robust defenses, and he's chilling in a place that you only get 1 attack on him. So I was feeling pretty good with Juggernaut. My opponent then goes with somebody. Cassandra, I think Cassandra just tries to kill Kingpin, which Kingpin's not holding anything. He's annoying for sure, but he was not a threat right now. But even so, Kingpin gets a little bit closer to dying. Cassandra hangs out. I think she does daze him here, at least. And then I go with the ninjas. The ninjas double move to go grab that thing. And Shadowlands throws batons at Yeah, so I did a fun thing here. And this was in the original audio log, but the audio was so bad I had to redub, as we're doing right now. What you can do in this game is you can have the range tool out, so you're moving, but you can always return to where you started, basically. You can't, like... If you pick up the piece, it has to move, but you don't have to move the full distance. So what I did here was I checked range 2, and I saw that the icon was not over my head, and I can do this legally in person as well by just using the range 1, as long as I don't move the movement stick. So then I moved back onto the point to throw my ninja baton, because I had not moved the movement stick, so I still had the ability to move anywhere along that to finish my placement off of his baton throw. I baton throw him twice, I put it in an annoying location on top of that stupid bodega, and Daredevil is done. So it's pretty bad right now for my opponent. I am poised to score out with 4 Spider infected and 2 points, so I'd be scoring 17. And all he has left is Red Skull and Sinister. So he's hoping that he can kill my grunts with an attack. I mentioned that they do have 2 Mystic defense, so the beam is not ideal. But he elects to go for the beam anyway, to potentially... If he could magically daze both the Juggernaut and the ninjas, he would be in a fantastic spot. Because he would have dazed 2 of my huge characters and he could suddenly start taking back over this game, even though I have a huge point lead. It'd still be really scary. So he moves to max 3, he bows the ninjas, he beams them both. The ninjas take 1 damage, which is just a fucking heartbreaker. And Juggernaut, I believe, just takes nothing. Or no, he takes 2. I'm lying. So Sinister's really tanky now, but the ninjas are still alive, which means he does not get that point, which means he's still in a deficit. He checks to see if he can root Juggernaut, but the root is range 3. He's out of range 3. I checked to see if there's any reason for X-23 to come in and potentially spend her Sinister just to stab him a little bit. There is not, so she just goes to the edge of the board to continue storing, to secure my victory. She's done. Red Skull then has to make a choice. He can either go for that Spider and contest me on the point, which would not stop me from winning. So he has to basically hope that a 5-die strike can kill Shadowlands Daredevil from full, which is, since it's physical, is very unlikely. But he goes for it. So he has to teleport and move to get onto the point, and then I tell him, no, just go here, so you don't push me into that lamppost. That would suck. He slaps me, does not get the push, or no, he does get the push. He would have got, or no, that's not his role. Does not get the push, and because Shadowlands is an asshole, blocks 4, so I take 0 damage, and that's the game. Okay, audio is really bad, which is why we redubbed. Hopefully this audio is better. I know the video quality would be much worse, but yeah. All right, bye.